Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. Actually, the last episode of 2024. And I'm so excited to do a deep dive today on the podcast into the lessons that 2024 has taught me. This year has been a whirlwind of growth, transformation, and self discovery. It's been a year of milestones, challenges, and moments that have stretched me both personally and professionally. And as we wrap up 2024, I want to reflect on the key lessons that have shaped my journey and share how you and I can carry these lessons into our lives as we head into 2025. My hopes is to inspire you to reflect on your own lessons and how can you carry them forward to design the best year yet in 2025. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. Let's dive right into those 10 lessons of 2024. Once again, these are my 10 lessons learned from 2024. And by me sharing this, I'm hoping to achieve two things. One is to inspire you to reflect on your own lessons, and two, to share how we can carry these lessons into our lives as we head into 2025 to design a great and amazing year ahead. So let's get started. Lesson number one: clarity is the key to momentum. What do I mean by this? At the start of the year, I focus on designing my vision for 2024. Through intentional goal setting, I realized how important clarity is. Clarity became my North Star, guiding my decisions and helping me prioritize what mattered most. But here's what I learned: clarity isn't something you figure out once and never revisit. Clarity is not a destination, but something that you must pursue constantly. Life changes, and so your vision must evolve too. When I felt stuck about halfway through the year, I paused to reflect by asking myself some tough questions like, what do I really want? Or what impact do I want to make? I regained confidence and momentum. Sometimes all you need is to ask yourself a couple of tough questions to help you gain more clarity. Here's the actionable takeaway: revisit your goals regularly. Ask yourself, are you still aligned with your goals? And if not, make adjustments without guilt because clarity evolves as you do. Lesson number two: prioritizing health changes everything. One of my proudest accomplishments this year has been to focus on my health. If you have been following me for a while, you know that my power word for 2024 was vibrant. I was focused on having vibrant energy, and I did that in many ways. First, I signed up for Function Health Lab Test, which is a functional medicine lab test about 106 markers. That helped me gain clarity of the areas where I needed to focus and prioritize. And then I focus on my nutrition by eating whole foods about 80 to 90% of the time, prioritizing fiber and protein on my diet, also doing strength training at least 3 times per week, and increasing my NEAT by incorporating more steps throughout the day. I also incorporated some specific supplements to help me with where I am today and help me feel vibrant, like electrolytes, vitamin D, omega 3s, probiotics, collagen, also magnesium and CoQ10. I saw incredible changes in my body and my mind this year. I feel more energetic and confident than I've ever been. This wasn't just about physical health, it was about recognizing how interconnected my health was with every area of my life. When I feel strong and vibrant, I also show up better for myself, for my family, for my career, and my goals. Here's a practical tip: start small. Every time I share all the things that I do, people feel overwhelmed. And rightly so, because these are being habits that I've been working on for years. But when I started small by adding a few more veggies to my meals, or committing to a daily walk, or drinking an extra glass of water. Small actions done consistently lead to big results. And this applies in every area of your life, not just your health. Okay, moving on to lesson number 3: community and connection matter. This year was a powerful reminder for me of the transformative impact that it has to surround yourself with the right people. Whether it was reconnecting with old friends, or building a growth oriented community, or joining a mastermind, or engaging with inspiring peers or leaders, each connection added immense value to my personal and professional life. One of the most profound lessons came from a career conversation with someone I deeply admire. That single interaction not only provided me with valuable insights, but also gave me the courage to explore opportunities that, to be honest, I had not considered before. It reinforced the idea that relationships aren't just about networking. They're also about sharing and learning and mutual growth and unlocking potential through meaningful conversations. Connections like this remind us that we don't have to navigate our journeys alone. The right people can inspire us, challenge us, and help us see possibilities that we might not have envisioned on our own. So here's an invitation for action in 2025. Make it a priority to nurture your relationships with intentionality and care. Identify 3 people who inspire and uplift you, whether they're friends, mentors, colleagues, and commit to deepen those connections. Reach out with genuine interest, schedule time to connect, and approach these interactions with an open heart and curiosity. And here's a tip: take a moment to reflect on what you can offer in return. Nourishing relationships has to be both ways. Meaningful relationships thrive when they're built on mutual support and trust. Be the person who listens, who shares, who uplifts others in return. As you strengthen your community, you'll find that these connections don't just enrich your life, but they create opportunities for growth, for collaboration, and for joy that can have a ripple effect in everything else that you do. I'm going to quickly interrupt today's podcast episode to share something exciting with you. I personally believe that who you surround yourself with can change everything. The truth is, your circle can either lift you up towards your goals or can keep you stuck where you are. That's why in 2025, I want to surround myself with people who are committed to their personal growth, who dream big. I want to create a community where we can support each other as we reach new heights. That's why I'm launching the Leading Yourself Growth Community, a place where you can find the support, the accountability, and the inspiration that you need to take your life and your career to the next level. If you're interested to join this free community, just go to the show notes in this podcast episode to find out more information. And now, let's get back to today's episode. Okay, lesson number 4: intentionality creates joy. One of the most transformative lessons that I embraced this year was the power of intentionality in creating joy. My mantra for 2024 in this area was simple: infuse fun into everything. It became my guiding principle, whether I was planning a family trip, or tackling work projects, or recording podcast episodes, or even managing everyday responsibilities. By shifting my focus from just getting things done to enjoying the process, I found myself more engaged, more present, and more fulfilled. Infusing fun didn't mean avoiding hard work. It meant approaching life with curiosity, with creativity, with a sense of play. For instance, during a busy work week, I turn mundane tasks into mini challenges, set up rewards for milestones, and simply added a touch of humor to meetings. This intentional approach helped me see joy from a different lens. Joy doesn't have to wait for grand accomplishments or special occasions. It's something that we can weave into our daily lives through the choices that we make and the energy that we bring to every moment and every interaction. Here's a tip: start each week with this question: how can I make this fun? Look at your calendar and find opportunities to add a spark of joy. Maybe it's playing your favorite music while you're cleaning, or turning a family dinner into a theme night, or celebrating small wins with someone that you love. And here's a pro tip: be intentional about celebrating progress, no matter how small. Whether it's a 5 minute dance break after completing a task, or treating yourself to your favorite coffee, one of my favorite ways of celebrating, by the way, these are moments of joy that can fuel your motivation and create positive feedback loops. When you approach life with intentionality, you're not just creating joy for yourself, you're also spreading it to those around you. Joy is contagious, and by infusing fun into your life, you inspire others to do the same. Moving on, lesson number 5: the power of resilience. 2024 wasn't without challenges. There were moments when things didn't go as I planned, and uncertainty felt overwhelming sometimes. Resilience, what I've learned, isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about adapting and growing through them. Gratitude, mindfulness, and support from loved ones, all of these things help me navigate tough moments. When I had a setback earlier this year, it forced me to rethink my approach. I pivoted and I found an even better path. And it was thanks to my resilience. Here's a question that I like to ask myself to reflect anytime that I feel stuck or I feel that I can't go forward. And is, first of all, what challenges did I face this year? And then how did I navigated them and what did they teach me? I think those are questions all of us can ask ourselves. What challenges did you face this year and how did you navigate them? And what did those challenges teach you? Those are questions that I like to ask myself because they help me see obstacles as opportunities for learning and for growth. Okay, lesson number 6: gratitude amplifies growth. Talking about growth. This year, I truly experienced how transformative gratitude can be. It shifted my mindset from one of scarcity, focusing on what I didn't have, to one of abundance, where I began to see and appreciate the wealth of blessings in my life, both big and small. Gratitude becomes the lens through which I view my days, especially during difficult moments when I felt like everything was going wrong. I've been practicing gratitude for a few years now, but this year I was very intentional on doubling down on the power of gratitude. Each day, I committed to writing down 3 things that I was grateful for. Sometimes they were profound, like my family's health or a career breakthrough. Other times, they were simple joys, like the warmth of a cup of coffee, a kind word from a stranger, or the beauty of a sunrise. This practice really helped me to recognize that even on the hardest days, there's always something to appreciate if you're willing to look for it. This year, I also embraced the mantra of expect nothing, appreciate everything. Let me repeat that one more time: expect nothing, appreciate everything. It reminded me to let go of unrealistic expectations and to find joy in the present moment. By being grateful for life's little details, like a shared laugh, a fresh air, or a moment of quiet reflection, I found myself feeling more grounded, more content, and more open to life's possibilities. Gratitude isn't just listing what's good, It's about changing how you see the world. It's about training your brain to notice the positives, the possibilities, which over time create this powerful ripple effect, increasing happiness and resilience and even productivity, to be honest. So here's my invitation for you. Start a gratitude practice in 2025. Each night before you go to bed, write down just one thing you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It could be something as simple as a delicious meal or a supportive text from a friend. Over time, I promise this practice is going to rewire your brain to focus on the good, helping you feel more optimistic, more grounded in your day to day life. Here's a bonus tip. Take your gratitude practice a step further by expressing it to others. Send a quick thank you note, leave a voice message, or simply tell someone you appreciate them. Sharing gratitude strengthens connection and deepens relationships. Gratitude amplifies growth because it shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It transforms your outlook, opens your heart, and creates space for even more abundance to flow into your life. As you head into 2025, remember gratitude isn't a feeling, it's a practice, a habit that can shape your life in extraordinary ways. Moving to lesson number 7. Success is built on small, consistent actions. The biggest changes that I've made this year weren't from dramatic overhauls, but rather from small, consistent actions. Daily habits like a 30-minute workout in the morning, or sticking to my morning routine, or recording my podcast every Sunday, or listening to a podcast every morning. All of those things added up to big wins for me this year. Consistency beats intensity every single day. Focus on small, manageable actions that you can sustain over time. That is the secret for success, because success is built on small, consistent actions. Lesson number 8. Be intentional and ask for feedback. One of the most valuable exercises I did this year was a 360-degree evaluation. Actually, I completed it a few months ago. It was super eye opening to see how others perceive me and what are the gaps between what my intentions are and how those intentions are received and perceived by others. It was really, really eye opening. By seeking feedback from trusted mentors, colleagues, your team, it can help you gain clarity and identify areas of growth. Like it has helped me identify areas for growth, which has been and become an input into how I want to continue to grow and be more intentional in 2025. And not because I want to please all my stakeholders, but because I want that my actions are aligned with my intentions and that the way people perceive me is the way that I want to show up in the world. An action step for you as you design your 2025 vision, ask a few people that you trust on how they perceive your strengths, your value, and your impact. And then use those insights to align your actions with the brand that you want to embody. One thing that I always seeking is congruency. Congruency between my values, the way that I show up, the way that um, others also perceive me is aligned with what I'm intending on how I want to show up. Okay, we're almost done. Lesson number 9. Vulnerability and connection matter. This year, I discovered the transformative power of vulnerability and active listening. Listening is not my strength all the time. And that came loud and clear on the feedback that I received this year. Some of my most meaningful moments this year, though, came when I admitted that I didn't have all the answers, or I simply listened to someone without trying to, quote unquote, fix the problem. Vulnerability opens the door to authenticity and trust. Active listening, being fully present, asking thoughtful questions, and validating others' feelings can deepen the relationships in ways that I certainly didn't expect. So I want to do more of that and be more intentional about these things in 2025. The key takeaway: connection thrives on vulnerability and active listening. Let down your walls, create space for others, and invite deeper relationships into my life. That will be my invitation for you as we move into 2025. Certainly something that I'm going to be actively working on. My word for 2025 is going to be elevate. And one of the things that I want to elevate is connection, relationships, and community. And this is the way to do it. I have no doubt about it. Now, last but not least, lesson number 10: celebrate your progress. 2024 taught me the importance of pausing to celebrate milestones. It's easy to focus on what's next. That is how I'm wired. Every time I finish something or I accomplish something, I'm always thinking about what is next. What is the next goal? What is the next milestone? What is the next accomplishment? And I'm not too good at acknowledging my wins, especially the small ones. But what I've learned is that acknowledging those wins, big or small, fuels motivation and gratitude. Looking back at this year, I'm really proud of the moments of growth, of resilience, and joy that shaped my journey. Here's a tip for you. As you plan 2025, schedule moments to celebrate your progress. Now I do this every week. As part of my weekly planning, I start by acknowledging my wins of that week. Whether it's um, there's different ways that you can do that, but I like to actually celebrate those. Some of the ways that I've been enjoying is a solo coffee date. For example, I go to a coffee shop to plan my week, and it's a way of also celebrating progress, celebrating the wins of the week, treating myself. It could be a family dinner to share those wins with the people that you love, but take time to honor how far you've come. I think that's the key message here. A lot of times we just keep going because we have this grandiose goal at the end of the road. And we keep going, trying to get to the finish line. And we forget to stop to acknowledge and look back just to acknowledge how far we've come. It's important to celebrate those small wins, every milestone along the way. Those are my 10 lessons of 2024. I'm sure I can come up with many more, but those were kind of the 10 highlights that I wanted to share with you today. As I look back on 2024, I feel a deep sense of gratitude for all the lessons and all the challenges and the growth that this year brought me. Each experience taught me something valuable, and I'm excited to carry all of these lessons into 2025. Now, let me turn this back to you. What are your biggest lessons from 2024? And how will you use them to design a life that you love in 2025? Next year, I'm stepping into exciting opportunities like launching my growth community, which, by the way, you are invited, and you can find information on the link in the show notes of this podcast episode. And I can't wait to share this journey with you here on the podcast. My goal is to show up as my best self, and I hope that you'll join me in doing the same. I want to close out today by thanking you for being part of this podcast community. Here is to closing 2024 with gratitude and stepping into 2025 with intention, with joy, and with purpose. I can continue to go on this journey alongside with you here on the Leading Yourself podcast. Until next time, remember, you have the power to design a life that you love. Happy New Year to you, and wishing you success and blessings in 2025. Okay, my friend, that's all I've got for you today. But before you go, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, if we're not already friends on Instagram, let's get connected. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful that you're in this journey with me. I want to leave you with one last thought. I want to remind you that you're destined for more and that every step that you take brings you closer to becoming that best version of yourself. Embrace each day as a chance to learn, grow, and chase your dreams. The world needs you to shine brightly, so go out and show up fully and authentically. Take care, and I'll see you next time.